Hey, good morning. This is God's Table again this morning. This is me getting ready to go to work. My early routine, obviously, is to wake up early and to pray to God, and then get myself ready for the whole day. So today, I'm going back to my students where we are resuming today, and I'm starting in a few minutes. But I just want to tell you a few things that I do with my students, like the books I use, which is very important for most parents whose children not doing very well, or probably because there are sets of children in this country that some of them, they have this kind of phobia. They don't like where loads of students are sitting together. It makes them feel somehow. So, and they give them a lot of names. They might say that they are suffering from ADHD, autism, PLMD, and so on and so forth. So different children, and also other children that we teach in other places as well. Some of them also have some few things like that really worries them. But obviously, everybody has a condition. I have my own condition. My condition is I like to do. I like to talk and I like to advise people, and they say that when you talk too much, that it's what do you call it? It's something to do like you are being paranoia. That's the reason why you like to talk all the time. Everybody is in your way. For me, there's nobody in my way. But when I see things, I talk about it. And if I need to do some correction, I'll do the correction. So this morning, I'm going to show you some of the books that I use for my students, and also advice for parents also to use for their children if they are struggling with maths. And also, I will also let you know that I tutor and also I nanny. So it's tutoring and nanny together, which makes it well. So when you nanny, you tutor the student as well. And sometimes you just tutor the students, So it depends on what they want for you. So this is what I do now. So I'm going to show you the books that I use. This is the KS3, which I use for English. It will depend on the child's ability. If the child is quite good in English and they can write, they can compose, they have the idea of creative writings and things like this. This book is recommended by Collins. I mean, it's an old book. I'm sure many people knows about it. Most mother knows about it. So this book I use for them. But there are quite easy one that you can use that is much easier rather than going for this one. Obviously, I've got many books I can show you this morning. There is one here which is very, very good, which I will recommend for so many mothers. This one is called Snap Revision. So if your child is doing GCSE, practicing GCSE, this one starts from, it's paper 1 and paper 2. So they said paper 1 and paper 2, which is quite good, and 9 to 1, which is like going from level 1 to level 2, which I think is quite good. It's actually made by Collins as well. This is the Collins workbook, but this one is also a revision book by Collins. Collins made this one very easy, which is the curriculum that is required in the United Kingdom for your child, because the GCSE is subject that they started from year 1 to year 7. Let's say year 1, because you started from year 1 to year 6, and then you go from year 6 to 7 up to year 11. So year 11. And these are all the accumulations of everything that you have done since you started going to school. So these ones makes it much easier. It's broken down into pieces for every mother to understand, and the layout for the content is much easier, so you know where you're going. Like we spoke about the creative reading and also creative writing, which is very important because they have to have their own imagination. They must have that skills of writing and also understanding what they're writing about. Also, like writing how to play and things like that, which is quite good. So this one is recommended, which I use for my own students, and my student is doing very, very well using this one as in compare to this other one. They prefer to use this one. Also, this is also fractions, which I would recommend to many mothers as well, or parents or carers for their children when they're doing fraction, because fraction comes in different ways. We have fraction with like and unlike denominators. So unlike denominators has no end, but like denominators has end. And they have example of the additions and the subtractions and multiplication and division. And when we look at it, this one is worked out. So in every page you turn to, you have how you can work out the addition, which is much easier for the parents to work it out, and also and for the child as well, or the guardian who is quite good in maths. And this one will teach them how to add fractions, and also looking at the lowest common multiples of whatever it is. As we can see from here, the way they worked it out, you can see. and the way they worked it out from here. And this is the example they have given to the child. So when we look at it, we can tell this way and this way. You can tell, and by looking at it, we can see that the answer is there straight away for them to know. So when they are doing this, they will know what to do, and that they will know what to do. And also they've got the multiplication, division, and also they should have the subtraction somewhere. And also they will give you the answer. So we've got the subtraction here where you have to work it out. And if you don't know, you can go back to the examples that was given to you earlier, and from there you'll be able to work it out. So I use this one quite a lot, and this has helped many of my students when it comes to the fraction, because they struggle a lot with the fractions. When they see the fraction, they say, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to do this and put this together. So we've gone, and it's got more other one where you'll be able to abide with it. When you look at the examples, you know what to do. So they're more or less the same, but they're kind of trickish. So this is what I say to them. So, and when we look at this, the lowest common multiple now, we said 4 times 7 gives us 28, and that's how you get 28 there. So we look into it, and then they will use this, and I've given them simple way of remembering all these things, so that when they get to the examination seats, when they start the exam, they won't be panicking. They will know exactly and remember how to work the fractions out. Also, this one is the English functional skills for level 2, which I think is not too bad, but normally this is a very common one that many people would buy for their kids, but it can be a bit complicated for some kids who do not understand some certain way of being creative and writing things, so I always recommend them to go for this one, which I showed earlier, which is quite good, very, very good, which is by Collins as well. And I think this one also is by this one is CGP, which is quite a good one, but I would recommend this for most mothers to buy this for their children, especially when they are starting their revision for English GCSE, or even doing their GCSE level 3, level 2. Also, there's another one which is good for functional skills level 2 in maths, which I use, and I think I find it very, very interesting for kids that are not very good in maths, and this is the beginning. So I combine this one with the fractions, and that makes it easier for them. So many of them bought this, and it's also pocketable, whereby you can keep it, and there's so many examples here which I think is very good, and place values and things like that, which is quite good. We look at it, it's very, very, the way everything is summarized is very easy, and it's easy for any child to grasp this one. So these are part of the strategy. This is log multiplication, which I use for them. We look at it here and also here. So you teach them all this, and some of them will say, yes, I'm very good at it, and you give it to them and they mess it up. So what I do is I just let them go through the examples. I can go through the example 3 or 4 times for them, and then I'll give them different methods to understand what is going on. This is just about the number lines and scales, which obviously you can say the lines there, and then how you can calculate it, the pounds, the pounds, and so on and so forth, and also the scale here as well. So this is quite a very good book for them to use as well. And I'll be taking my laptop with me, and also I'll be making my juice inside this, my pot here, to take with me. And then that's all I'm going to do for now. Stay tuned for the next stage. Right, this is part of my kitchen. This morning, this is what I take before going to work. I've got my cloves in there. I've got tangerine in there. I've got ginger. I've got turmeric, garlic, and then I have lemon. I'm going to blend them all together. I'm going to put them in this flask here. This flask I bought from TikTok, and it's very good. It's got the temperature here. Once that one is done, it will tell me what the temperature is, and then it keeps it warm for at most 6 hours, so I can still drink it. So this cup is very good as well. If you go onto TikTok, you'll find it there. It tells you the meter, the temperature, and you open it this way, and then you can zip it. You can tell now that the temperature has gone down. It's actually gone down, so that's why it's not giving me enough temperature. But when it's hot enough, it will give me enough temperature to see what I've got in there. So I'm going to put them inside this flask, and I'm going to blend this. As soon as this one is blended, I'm going to sieve it, and I'm going to put them in here, and I'm off to work. So stay tuned. I'll see you again. Right, here I am now. I'm back to the car park. You can see that there are so many cars parked here. Can you imagine? Everybody has parked their car because it's so cold. My car is also frozen. You can see the front of my car is frozen. But I need to get into my car because I'm actually late. I'm supposed to start at 10 o'clock. But I know that to God be the glory. I will be there shortly.